So असांजे अॼु इफ़्तिताई तक़रीब जो आख़िरी की नोट स्पीकर साईं डॉक्टर ज़ुल्फ़कार अली कलोरो साहब जन आहिनि ऐं डॉक्टर ज़ुल्फ़कार अली कलोरो साहब जन बि एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट आहिनि ऐं साईं जन जी की नोट स्पीच जी जेको टॉपिक आहे उहो आहे इंस्क्रिप्शंस इज़ ए सोर्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री इन द इंडस वैली. सो डॉक्टर ज़ुल्फ़कार अली कलोरो साहब खे गुज़ारिश कंदुसि त हू पंहिंजी प्रेज़ेंटेशन पेश कनि.
So it's already lunch time, which is the best time to rejoice. Anyways, first of all, I wanted to thank the organizers of this international conference on Sindhi language, particularly Indus script and endangered languages. So thank you very much, Dr. Razak, Rafiq Pasan, and Professor Dr. Ishaq to invite me to share my research that I have been doing in Pakistan. So these are, let me tell you that as you can see, this is a boulder along the Indus in KPK near Chhatiyal. So these are basically ethnographic notes that I'm sharing with you. I have been doing research in different parts of Pakistan. So these inscriptions, why basically I selected this topic for today's presentation is to share with you that since I've been traveling, so these inscriptions are very helpful to understand local history, culture, and even politics. So today's presentation is just to give you an overview that what various writing system we had in upper as well as in lower Indus Valley. When we say upper, we are basically talking about Gilgit-Baltistan, lower, I mean Sindh province. So this boulder actually, a lot already has been done by Pakistani archaeologists as well as anthropologists. Apart from Pakistani, one of the leading scholar on the ethnology of northern Pakistan was Khalid Mar. So together with Ahmad and Dani, Khalid Mar and Dani both documented and surveyed the entire region of Gilgit-Baltistan to document history, ethnology, and various other perspectives that were related to their interest. So this boulder is basically covered with many writing systems or scripts. And that those writings or scripts include Khroshti, Brahmi, Sogdian, even Sharda and Bactrian. So if we, so far around 6,000 inscriptions have been documented by both Pakistanis and Germans, and 50,000 rock carvings. I just told you that the languages or scripts are in 6 different scripts. So one of the very useful books that has been written on the rock art of northern Pakistan is by Ahmad Dani. And from that book, we learn the names of those who basically donated these various types of stupa. So in this Brahmi inscription, we learn that this particular stupa was donated by a certain local elite. And this is also along the Indus, on the right bank, on the left bank of the Indus near Chelas. This is also a Brahmi inscription with a stupa and a worshipper. So there are a large number of Buddhist engravings along with ancient scripts, particularly Brahmi and Khroshti, but this is a Khroshti which shows the name of the donor who basically commissioned this engraving of the stupa. And everywhere, if you travel along the KKH, you will find a large number of Buddha, engravings of the Buddha and Bodhisattva. And this is another interesting image which shows in the background Bodhisattva Maitreya. This is typical iconography of Bodhisattva, in which he is shown holding a pot of immortality. And in the foreground, in the below the inscription, you can see the name is written Samhadeva. Samhadeva was basically the local ruler of that region in 7th and 8th century, who basically commissioned the inscription. And apart from Chilas area, if you travel to Gizar district, there is a very interesting, large interesting boulder, which depicts late Brahmi inscription, which records the names of those who ruled the present Gilgit. And basically, these are all names of Patola Shahi, who ruled in 7th, 8th, and 9th century, not only in Gilgit, but also in other parts of northern Pakistan. So these Hatun inscriptions are very important to understand the political history of that region. Apart from Hatun, anybody who's familiar with the history of northern areas can go to Gilgit and visit Danyor. So Danyor and Alam Bridge are two other sites where one can see inscription in Brahmi and late Brahmi and Sharda, which also records the names of the rulers of the Gilgit. So now, let me just share some of the writing systems that we used in Sindh. I briefly shared about Upper Indus. In Upper Indus, there are a large number of the scripts, but in Sindh, during my various visits for my own ethnographic research in various parts of Sindh, I came across different inscriptions. And this is basically Gupta Brahmi. So anybody who has been to Khirthar, I'm not talking about the Khirthar that is very close to Karachi, but the part which separates Sindh from Balochistan, particularly I'm talking about Dadu, Kambar Shadat Kot district, you will find a few Brahmi inscriptions. Not only Brahmi, but also some late Brahmi inscriptions. And these inscriptions are located between Nali Valley and Salari. So Salari is basically, it's about 40 kilometer west of Khairpur Nathan Shah. So some of the best are very useful inscriptions are located between Gaj and Salari Valley. But in Nali, all these inscriptions, I'm just sharing the three images of Gupta Brahmi. Basically, these shows the names of the persons who, are written. For instance, one name is written Matara, Parandapa, Gustatvi. And basically, I sent these inscriptions to Dr. Naseem Ahmad Khan. He is one of the person who knows the ancient scripts. Dr. Dani died in 2009. He was the only person who knew all the ancient scripts, Brahmi, Kroshti, Sharda, even Sogdian language. So now there are other persons apart from Dr. Naseem Ahmad Khan who knows ancient scripts. Dr. Abdul Samad, who is the Director General of Archaeology of KPK, he knows Brahmi, and Moizuddin Hakal. So this is another inscription from Nali Valley in Khirthar. So these are basically Brahmi inscriptions. If you go to Tharparkar, you will, I have documented more than 1,000 Devanagari inscriptions. I wrote a book which is named memorial stones, Tharparkar, which was published by EFT. If you look at these memorial stones, these commemorate the heroes, as we call in Sindhi, Jujhar. A person who died in the act of heroism is called Jujhar, headless hero. There are other terms that also are vogue in that area. So this upright, this standing stone, a rectangular stone, is divided into two parts. The upper always contains an image of the deceased. The lower part has an inscription in Devanagari with various different variants or influences, or local influences. If you find this memorial stones, as it is called in local Parkari, dialect, it is Pario. And in Mithi area, it is the same stone is called Loharti. And also, there are other names. They say, this is Pario, Khatri, Khambi, Deso, Jadiyo, Daglo, and so many other names. But each of the names, as an anthropologist, these terms are very important for anthropologists. And anthropologists basically build a structure over the meaning systems. And they understand, if I say Pario, what does Pario means? It means it was erected in the memory of one who died in the act of heroism, means protector. The term was derived from Sanskrit word palaka, means protector. Similarly, even the stone has same image, and they look like same. If you ask a local person, they say, this is Pario, and Pario has the same image. And on the next side, on the right side or the left side of the same standing stone, you have a Khambi. And I asked the local person, they look same. What is the difference? Say, look, this is a Pario erected for one who died in the act of heroism, means hero, Jujhar. This is one which was erected for one who cremated, immolated, or took suicide. So this is how folk wisdom sometimes works and are very important for anthropologists to construct and reconstruct the meanings. And another interesting part of this, how local communities celebrate heroism. You see on my right, you see this is Devanagari inscription, and this inscription tells about when a water tank was being constructed. So some human sacrifice was made. And on the left, you see an image. A person is shown holding a dagger and piercing into his jugular vein. What does this signify? It's a ritualized killing, which was common among Charans, Bhat, Bhans, and it is also in local language Katari. Dagger is a Katari. Charar was, basically a surety between two persons. If I borrow something from Dr. Razak and I fail to repay, the Charan who was a surety will come and ask me, give back money that you have borrowed from him. Then what he will do, or what he did actually, one by one he will mutilate, and finally he pierces dagger and dance and runs as like a Nat Raja, as Shiva did. And everywhere you runs and dance, the blood is sprayed, and this is how you curse the family who failed to repay, and this, according to the belief, it brings destruction to the family. So this is a Katari, and also called Tirga. There are 35 different types of Tirga, which was performed by Charans, Bhat, and other communities. The highest form of Tirga is Tilio. जॾहिं तव्हां पंहिंजे मथां का जेको आहे तेल हारे पाण खे बाहि ॾिबी आहे, दिस is called Telio. And there are different, examples in the Tharparkar which I collected, that certain women perform Telio, which is a form of Tirga. And one of the best known is Joma Sati, who she is now basically Kul Sati of Charan and worshipped by some of the communities living across the border in Barmer and in Chachro area. And, okay, lucky that I have saved. So, apart from, these hero stones, memory stones, sometimes when you, construct a water tank, so you also basically, inscribe how, for the welfare of the community, you construct a certain tank. So this is all about the details, that who built, when it was built, and so other. So now let me quickly go to the, just to show you other slides. And so this is, if you, we talk about scripts that were used in Sindh, one was Khojki. And, it was used to write religious and devotional literature that we call Ginan. So apart from that, we also see, a large number of inscriptions at Amir Pir, and there were a few in Jerk sometimes. And then you can also see some of the donor plaques at, Ismaili shrines. I think when I last visited, when I first visited Shah Turel in Badin, there were some donor plaques. Later on, when I visited and revisited, those plaques were removed. So these are some of Khojki inscriptions, which are, fixed on the facade of the houses at Jampir. And now, Khudabadi. And, we shall discuss in detail and show maps and, and discuss briefly about alphabet. So, Khudabadi, I will not talk about the, the books that have been written, and this is, everybody knows about Khudabadi, where it was originated, and who was basically the innovators. But my findings and some other people's finding, Aziz Kingrani is sitting here. He is from the area who has seen the tombs, which I have also seen and visited. You will find a large number of writings of Khudabadi. And many people, some are inscriptions and some are like commemorative writings. You visited the tomb and you just, left your name that Zulfikar visited the tomb of Muridani Jamali on such and such date. So not only in Dadu district, but also in Kambar Shaddad Court. But this particularly Khudabadi script is found on the wall of Chakar Khan Khwawar's tomb near the tomb of Shah Muhammad in Kambar Talka and Kambar Shaddad Court district. So very quickly, sometimes you see both. When the painter or Mistri mason constructed the structure or painted or repainted, walls, so he wrote in both. But you see, that time Khudabadi lost the patronage. And see how badly it is written. So he wrote in both Khudabadi as well as in Persian. The name is written Khair Maman Pyara Ludhad. He was from the village of Mianasi Maman Kalhodo. And after Khudabadi, let me just show you some of the image of the Hatwanaki. And Hatwanaki basically was developed by the Hindu merchants of Shikarpur to maintain their financial records. And interestingly, there are different variations of Hatwanaki, also called Vanaki. If you go to the Jacoamabad, you will see slightly, local influence on Hatwanaki. And even in Sakhar, you see, so it is called Shikarpuri, Sakhri, and maybe one Jekmabadi. So, and in other areas as well. Even you can see those Hindus who travel between Dadu or Ladkana and Khuzdar. You use basically Gaj and other valleys as a route to reach Khuzdar. And I have seen many rock shelters and caves where you see the Khudabadi written on the walls of the rock shelters. Oh, so this actually, see, this is the inscription, and this is a drawing, a transcript of the same. It is written, let me just, you can read, donated by Venerable Temple of Shri Jog Mataji, Mohan Das, son of Devarka Das, donated rupees 501. This service was done on Jet 1, 2000, means 1945. And then this is another inscription. This is like the upper part is in a Devanagari with the local influence. Then in the middle is Sindhi, and in the bottom is Hatvanaki. So then Persian inscriptions. I think I now quickly go to conclusion because Sindhi में चवूं था लगे तो हाणे इसाक जेको बर्दाश्त ख़त्म थी वई आहे. So I think there was a lot to basically say, but since we don't have time, I mean, this area, the Karachi, was once battleground between various tribes. Every tribe wanted to control the resources of this city, as still we witness who are basically trying to control the resources of city. So in medieval period, Kalmatis, Jokias and Bulfats fought. And when, you know, anybody who died, they erected beautiful structures on the tombs. Sorry, you know, and beautiful inscriptions were written on the tombs. And this basically is an inscription at Raj Malik near Gharo. This person died in a battle which was fought between Jokias and Kalmati. It is called Second Battle of Makli. So when this, on the completion of this structure, locally called Rumi, or as we call Ghadi or Chokundi, on the completion of this Ghadi of Kiko, Walad Suleiman, slaves were released. This is how it was celebrated. And this was the last slide. I also actually showed you just why this name actually written here. Last slide is the Mian Nasir Muhammad. There was like interesting rituals, very peculiar to Miawal Tarika. One of the interesting rituals was Guftar, praiseworthy narration. So a follower of Mian Nasir Muhammad or his family wished that if he or she died, he or she should be buried next to the tomb of his spiritual mentor. If they could not do that, write his name before the name of the deceased. So this is the name Mian Nasir Muhammad, Mai Hawa Binnate Mir Chakar Fakir Talpur. There are several such inscriptions, and one of the best, I think, necropolis or cemeteries in terms of the names of Mian Nasir Muhammad is located at Kubo Shadad. But there are other graveyards where we can also see such inscriptions. So all the inscriptions that I discussed are, just in concluding remarks I wanted to say, are mostly two types, donative and commemorative. Well, this is all that I wanted to share. Thank you for your patience, Dr. Saab.